You do not always hear the battle, but it is happening in quiet living rooms, in the long pauses on the phone, in the way your parent says, "I'm fine," even when they are clearly not. This is the silent battle of aging, of once independent parents slowly stepping into fragility, of adult children not knowing how or when to step in, of a shifting dynamic that no one really prepared us for. Never thought I would be helping my father up the stairs one day, or explaining the same thing 3 times to my mother in one conversation, and I certainly never thought I would be the one making decisions they used to make for me. If this sounds familiar, you are not alone. This is one of the hardest, most emotionally complicated journeys in life, and yet we barely talk about it. Today, I want to change that. In this video, I will share what I learned through tears, guilt, love, and patience about supporting aging parents, setting boundaries, and protecting your own heart, because the battle may be silent. But it should never be fought alone. Let us talk about it. The shift no one talks about. It starts gradually. Your parent starts asking you to repeat things. They forget appointments. You begin to notice clutter in the house that used to be spotless. You tell yourself, they are just getting older. But deep down, you know something is changing. I remember the first time I noticed my mom mixing up her medications. She had always been sharp, a former teacher, always organized, and suddenly, there was confusion in her eyes. That moment shattered me, not because of what she forgot, but because I realized I was no longer just her child. I was becoming her caregiver. The guilt that lingers quietly. When I first stepped into that role, I made a lot of mistakes. I tried to take control too fast. I got frustrated when she resisted. I forgot that just because she needed help didn't mean she stopped being proud. There were days I snapped and nights I cried, not because I was angry at her, but because I hated seeing someone I loved slowly fading. And then came the guilt. Was I doing enough? Was I patient enough? Was I selfish for needing a break? Let me say this clearly. If you are caring for aging parents and you feel overwhelmed, you are not a bad person. You are human, and your feelings matter too. The power of listening without. Fixing one of the best lessons I learned came from a nurse who had cared for elders her whole life. She told me, "Stop trying to fix everything. Start listening more." So I did. When my dad complained for the 10th time about his knee, instead of rushing in with solutions, I just said, "That sounds really painful. I am so sorry you are dealing with that." His eyes softened. He did not want answers. He wanted to feel heard, and that moment healed more than any medical advice ever could. Boundaries aren't cruel, they are kind. There came a point when I was burnt out, working full-time. Checking on both my parents daily, running errands, organizing prescriptions, cooking meals. I was exhausted, and I felt guilty even thinking about asking for help, until I realized, if I break down, who takes care of them then? I started setting small boundaries. I took Sundays off completely for rest. I asked my sister to rotate grocery duties with me. I brought in a part-time home nurse. The relief I felt was overwhelming. And the truth? My parents understood. They needed me to be whole, not heroic. When roles reverse, grief enters. No one prepares you for the grief that comes while your parents are still alive. Watching someone you love lose parts of their memory, their independence, their identity. It feels like a slow goodbye. I found myself mourning my mother while still holding her hand, and that is a grief few talk about. But I also discovered something else, an opportunity to love more deeply than ever before, to sit in the quiet and just be with her, to laugh at old memories, to cry together and not hide it. These moments, though heavy, became sacred. Healing. through honest conversations. One day, I sat down with my dad. I said, "I know things are changing, and I want to do this. With you, not just for you." He nodded. He was quiet. Then he said, "I am scared. I do not want to lose my dignity." That broke me open, because that is what this silent battle really is about. It is not just about tasks or appointments. It is about holding on to identity on both sides. That day, we agreed on 3 things. I would always involve him in decisions. We would both ask for help when needed, and we would never stop talking about the hard things. Those conversations saved our relationship. The love that deepens through the struggle. We'll not sugarcoat it. Supporting aging parents can feel thankless at times. It can be lonely, and it can hurt. But in those long nights and tender mornings, in the way my mother smiled when I made her tea just the way she liked, in the way my father said, "Thank you for being patient with me today," I discovered a new kind of love, a love that is patient, a love that is sacrificial, a love that is rooted in years of being cared for, and now, giving it back. If you are walking this road right now, know this: you are not weak for feeling tired, you are not wrong for needing help, and you are not alone in the quiet ache of watching your parents age. This is one of life's deepest callings and hardest challenges. So, let me ask you, what is one thing you wish people understood about caring for aging parents? Have you had a moment that brought both pain and unexpected closeness? And what helped you get through your toughest day? Share your story in the comments. Let us build a space where these silent battles can be spoken. And if this message touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe, because someone else out there is silently struggling, and your story might be what helps them keep going. The strength of love is not in how loudly we speak, but in how softly we show up. You are doing more than you know, and that is something to be proud of.